So here we are with Supreme Larock.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everything I've read about you is that you are an iconic Seattle DJ, right? And I spent the morning, I was listening, I'm like, well, what does an iconic Seattle DJ play? And you play everything, right?
Right.
And you're a creative, you collect vinyl. And so I want to get a sense, first of all, of your story, and then I want to talk about being a DJ in a moment in history being defined by AI and how that is changing your world. But let's start with you, right? All right, so you're born in LA, the hospital we were just talking about.
Yes.
And you're iconic. I don't know what that means.
According to people, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never said I was or think
But
that
you're
I
a
am,
DJ on the radio.
I am.
Right? And radio is, you can look at it two ways. It's either making a comeback or it's being rendered irrelevant. So we'll talk about that as well. But
Definitely
first, let's talk about you and you as a creator and, kind of an inventive mind in the DJ space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What do you want to know?
I want to know the story, man. You came from LA.
I came from LA. My parents moved here when I was like 2 years old. And when I was 4 years old, they brought me a turntable and some records for Christmas. And I was so intrigued by this thing because I was like, how does sound come out of plastic?
Right.
I'm a little kid. I'm looking. I'm like, it spins around and sound comes out. How does that work?
Right.
And they brought me like all these children's records, right? Because I was 4, but they tell me I just tossed those. I wasn't interested, but I went into their collection, pulled out the James Brown, Curtis Mayfield, Miles Davis, things like that. They said, from 4, that's what I was into.
Wow.
But I have this thing because back then a lot of the artwork and covers on records were real psychedelic and colorful. I think it just caught my attention, as a kid.
Right. And you're still, your attention is still caught by music. I mean, you have a collection of 50,000 vinyl records, which has probably grown since the time I read that article.
Way more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I've seen the pictures and it's just walls
it's embarrassing.
Of vinyl. It's really, really cool. There are people, right, like haters out there right now, who would say what you do as a DJ is not as creative as making your own music. I do not agree with this because I have listened to you, especially this morning. What is your comeback?
Well, first of all, I do make my own music, for starters, and that's how I even got into a lot of these records. Because like in the 80s, I remember buying like Eric B. and Rakim, and I'm listening to the record, I'm like, wait a minute, I know this music, And then I realized, oh, my pops had that original record that they sampled. So I put 2 and 2 together with the puzzle, back around that time, figuring out, oh, a lot of this hip-hop stuff is just records.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And let's be honest, let's not downplay. Everything stems from DJing. Hip-hop starts with the DJ. It's changed a lot over the years.
All right.
But that's my argument.
How has it changed? Right? Like
what it changed is a lot of artists don't even have a DJ anymore.
Okay, so in the 80s and 90s, if you were an artist, you had a DJ.
A lot of them had DJs and dancers. A lot of them don't. Some have dancers, I guess, but and some do have DJs.
Yeah.
But most don't.
Yeah.
They just trigger songs off a computer or an instant replay or something.
Yep.
And I also think that comes from like troubleshooting. When vinyl, if you're jumping around on stage, it can skip easily. Oh. It could hum and feedback.
Oh, okay.
With a digital file, you could just run it and you're good to go.
And so what is happening, like we were just talking about earlier, like with DJs and vinyl in the age of AI? How do you stay relevant?
I'm going to tell you what's crazy and what's funny about that is I think vinyl might be at an all-time high right now with people into it, buying it, and people DJing with it. When I go overseas, it's mostly all vinyl.
Really?
Especially Japan.
Huh.
If you look up Japan, And in my mind, I'm like, oh, they invented electronics and they're all about this stuff. But I'm looking, well, if they're not playing it, they must know something.
That is so weird. Why do you think that is? Is it like...
I think because they love the culture so much, they're just honoring
Yeah.
it. That's what I think.
That's actually really, really
But the
beautiful.
hi-fi bar is taking over in America. They're popping up left and right. I'm getting booked for so many vinyl gigs.
Yeah.
And so it's really big. The prices have skyrocketed, especially during COVID. It was like comic books, trading cards, and records.
Yeah.
Went sky high.
So interesting.
Yeah.
And you're also, okay, we're talking about DJing, but you're like a radio personality here in Seattle.
I am on the radio every week in San Francisco and Seattle.
Oh, okay.
So I'm in 2 markets.
Okay. And we were talking about the what's happening in radio, right? Like we were talking about the 2 schools of thought. Either it's becoming more important or it is becoming more obsolete.
So here's the thing.
Tell me.
My show is a specialty show.
Okay.
So I kind of have the slogan I came up, giving you a reason to listen to the radio again. I don't play the same thing every hour on the hour.
Right.
It's not looped music. It's not programmed. It's from the soul.
Yeah.
I can play what I want and do it how I want.
Yeah.
So I have a specialty show. So mine's a little different than your normal commercial radio.
Right. Right. And that might be the secret sauce,
I
right?
think it is.
It's almost like, I love audio, right? Not just music, but like podcasts and storytelling, right? Like when you have, something that is in audio form and it's a story, right? Because I've listened to your show and it is a very unique radio show, right? It's not like loud, it's not like, the screaming people who do, sports on the radio. It's very compelling, right? And, I think the reason radio, I love radio, right? Like I'm one of those old school people. I love radio, right? And what do you think the future of radio is? Are there opportunities, right, with AI? Like there's a lot of fake DJs out there now.
Oh my goodness.
No, they're everywhere.
I know.
I mean, what is going on?
I don't know. I heard rumors of Spotify and things changing up or even shutting down. I heard like the CEO stepped down a few days ago.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I hear there's something new coming, and I don't know what that is, but I heard within the industry.
Really?
Yeah, there's something new. And like I said, I don't know what that is or what it could be. But I feel like, okay, so like me as a kid growing up, I wanted to hear some hip hop, some rap music. There was only one radio show that came on once a week, and it was Sunday. So I had to wait till Sunday at 6 o'clock with my radio or my boombox to hear that. Whereas now everything's on demand. You pick up your phone, you could play it right then and there. You could YouTube songs, you like stream things. So that kind of kills radio.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, radio, but not audio, right? Like the need for, like radio is a frequency, right? Basically. And it's like music, right? Like the platforms you deliver music on, whether it's an MP3, a CD, a cassette, an 8-track, it doesn't matter. It's the content, right? And don't you think your content transcends the delivery mechanism?
I personally believe that it does.
Yeah.
But I'm also a DJ and music lover. If you talk to the average Joe, they might just say it's just music. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I feel it does.
Yeah. Well, you should. I mean, it's your entire career. And so with all of the AI and the fake DJs they're so convincing right now, right? Like the AI generated DJs who spin.
Even Apple, I think Apple,
you
could,
they have a DJ. Yep.
Right, or it mixes for you and you just pick the songs.
And it knows your algorithm and all of that. Yeah. So it knows
it might know your algorithm, but it doesn't know the vibe in the room.
No.
So it could never do what a real DJ can do in person.
Exactly. exactly. And so, for like being a DJ is still a highly aspirational thing for a lot of people, right? And if you had to look out at, young people interested in becoming a DJ or exploring radio opportunities, what is your advice for them, or for like any creative?
I say just be true to yourself and do it from the heart.
Yeah.
Don't try to be like someone else. Even so, you said you listened to some of my sets.
I did.
And they're different.
Yeah.
I try to be different, right? If everybody plays the big Beyonce song or the big Drake song,
Yeah.
what makes you stand out? What makes you any different
Nothing.
than them? Now, one night I wasn't DJing, I walked down the street, and every venue I walked by I heard the same song playing.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Like, play something different. There's so much music in the world.
Yeah.
And I know these people, they've heard this song today at some point. They can take a break. They can hear something different.
Exactly.
And that's my thing. I try to be different, right? Like I did a gospel set with Humano Sounds, and it's got like 70,000 views within a month. It's like took off. And I didn't think anybody would listen to it. Honestly,
Why do you think people listen to that?
Because it's different.
It's different.
It's different. And they hear it and they like it. And they're like, oh, I didn't know I would like this. you know? Read the comments. You'll see what everybody's
Do you remember
saying.
in the 90s when there was an album that came out and it was literally monks chanting, right? And it became a chart
huge.
topper,
Remember that?
right? It was monks chanting, right? Like that's how desperate we as a society were for something
Different.
new and unique and beautiful, right? It was new. Everything was sounding so much the same. I think it was in the mid 90s. But maybe that's the same effect as the gospel, right? We are so, numbed by the sameness of the music we hear and experience these days because it's the same fucking 10 songs over and over again.
Yeah, and then like you have, someone comes out with a hit record and then all the labels want that hit record too. So they want something that sounds like that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we need something that sounds like this.
Yeah.
Now, if you really sit back and look at the big picture, every hit record that comes out is different. And that's why it blows up and it's a hit. Right. Remember Master P came out saying, and you just grunting, and that blew up huge. It was different. Who was doing that?
Right.
Nobody was doing that.
Nobody was doing monk chants either, right? And so, okay, let's go there then with Taylor Swift and her new album. Like, she's a marketing machine, right? And I don't know very much about her music, but it's the constancy of her presence in our pop culture life. Is that good for new artists and new sounds, or is that like a hindrance to the new, like the gospel sound, right?
I mean, that's a tough question because, especially taking her aside, if it was you,
right,
it'd be great, right? You're getting your marketing and everybody sees you. Right. So it could be good for a new artist.
So.
If you want overnight fame.
Right.
That's what it's good for.
Yeah.
Is overnight fame.
Yeah. So what is the next, in being a DJ, radio personality, right? And you're staying true to your calling and true to who you are. What is the next thing coming your way, right? We've got AI, we've got technology.
Right.
Is it analog? Like, what's the big?
Well, that's the thing. I've always stayed on analog. I mean, I do digital too because basically I had to.
Yeah.
What happened was I was traveling. I was getting a lot of gigs, doing a lot of traveling, and then they started charging extra for your bags.
Right.
So if I have 6 crates of records, I'm paying crazy money. Then they're heavy. Yeah. Then that's like $50 extra for each one because of the weight on top of the extra bags. And I remember landing. It came from LA. I paid like $650 to get my records back, and I drove right to Guitar Center and I got the digital program Serato because I was like, I'm gonna have to end up using this thing. I stayed away as long as I could. Not that I hated it. It just was new and foreign. Yeah. But I learned it. And so I've learned, to play with USB sticks on CDJs. I've learned like controllers. I just feel like if you're going to be a working DJ, you better know how to play on everything.
Yeah.
But like I said, most of my bookings now are vinyl bookings. They're analog bookings. I'm doing a grand opening of a new hi-fi bar in Dallas next month.
Oh, fancy.
And so all analog. 100% analog.
When you look back on your career, are there like moments that are the most memorable? Like, what is a moment in your career that has inspired you?
I'm the kind of guy, like, I do something and then that's it. I'm done with that. I did it.
Move on to the next thing. Yeah.
Right. You're only as good as the last thing you did. You got to keep moving.
Exactly.
And then down the line, I got a movie out right now on Amazon Prime.
What's the movie?
It's called Blood, Bullets, and a Fistful of Cash.
Okay.
So I'm in this movie. But I forget
Are
about that.
you the blood, the bullet, or the fistful of cash?
I get shot in the movie fairly close to the beginning. So maybe I'm the blood. But things like that I forget.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know is because someone saw it the other day and hit me up. They're like, hey, this movie's on. I'm like, oh, is it? And, I forget about things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've done a lot, so it all excites me, and it's all big to me.
What are the biggest, if you look back? I mean, you're interesting because you don't seem to fixate on the past, but what are some of the mistakes as, an entrepreneur, a DJ, a creator? Like, what is the biggest mistake you have ever made?
Probably taking every gig.
Yeah.
You don't need to take every gig. I think when you're new, you're so excited, you just want to do it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of DJs actually ruin it for themselves and for others by playing for free or playing for cheap. Or, when I started, there was DJ such and such at this club, and you knew it, and you'd go there for the DJ. But now you might have 6 DJs on one night.
Yeah.
In a 4-hour time span.
Right.
And you'll have such and such IG model on the flyer or a guest bartender on the flyer. Don't even say who's DJing. There's just a lot of mistakes. Like you gotta watch out for yourself. Like I said, you don't have to do everything.
Yeah.
And you don't have to post everything.
Yeah. No, I think that's good advice, not just for, aspiring DJs, but for everyone on the planet, right? You don't have to do everything. You don't have to take every gig, and you don't have to post fucking everything.
They post everything.
Right?
And it's like they'll be at like a restaurant and no one's there, and they're like, tonight's office. And I'm just like, why would you post that?
It's also silly sometimes. Do you have it? I have to ask this because, you're a celebrity. You rub elbows, where other people, maybe don't with celebrities. But do you have any good celebrity stories? Like, did Jack Nicholson ever get drunk at one of your, gigs? Like, do you have any,
Actually, that's funny because yes.
Oh.
Actually, in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, record label gig, and there was a lot of people there. That's another thing. Like, I've done. It's so funny because if I talk about certain things, it sounds like I'm bragging.
Right, but I'm asking
But it's just facts.
Right, you're just
and
telling
a lot
the
of
story.
things like this, I have to sign an NDA.
Oh.
I can't post it or say or take pictures.
Yeah.
It's just, hey man, I did this party. They treated me great. They paid fabulous. You wouldn't have believed who was there. And then people don't believe me, but that's okay.
But you signed
As long
an
as I'm
NDA,
working.
so you can't dish on the Get Busy podcast.
No.
Oh man,
No, I can't dish
I
on
mean,
some
we're not
things.
even really that podcast, but I had to ask. All right, now let's do some forward-looking stuff. Your career is so amazing, and I didn't know you were in a movie. And anyone out there who's listening, like trying to start a business or thinking about, entrepreneurship or whatever, honestly, just listening to that set I listened to this morning, it wasn't the gospel. I can't remember what it was. It was on YouTube. It was really an inspiring way to start the day, right? It was just so...
Well, thank you.
No, thank you. I mean, it was really cool. But what's next? You made movies. You've signed NDAs for celebrity parties. You've taken all the gigs. You've been overseas. You're going to Dallas. Like what comes next?
You know what's funny is sometimes you never know what's next. You could plan and say, I want to do this. I'm releasing more records soon.
Yeah.
I had about 5 records I've released on vinyl within the past few years. I have more records coming out, which some I'll probably always do. I'm in a movie that's in Canada right now. It's called Play It Loud, How Canada Got Soul. That's out right now.
And you're a DJ in that one.
It's kind of like a documentary, so they're interviewing me in that one.
That's pretty cool. So you don't get shot at the beginning of this one.
No.
Okay, that's good.
Hopefully
that's
I
an
don't get shot
improvement.
at all in this one. But, I just filmed a movie last week called Play It and Woo, which is a documentary on Philip Woo, who's a keyboardist from Seattle that I'm friends with, or ended up becoming friends with, and I didn't realize all the records he's played on. And you wouldn't believe it. So that's coming. But, you know, I get calls and I go overseas, and I was like, who would have ever thought from DJing I'd be sitting like in Dubai in this guy, this king's mansion, you know, doing this event. And I'm like, you never know where it's going to take you or what's next. Like, I wouldn't have thought of streaming. I didn't know that was coming. We didn't see that coming.
Nobody knew that was coming.
Right? You never know what's next.
But it's, you know, and a lot of it is good because streaming, you know, gives you access to so many different kinds of people, right? Who will appreciate and, you know, have a newfound recognition of a different type of music or a different type of experience in listening. I mean, there's good things about technology, but, you know, when I hear you spin like I did this morning, like that is pure joy, right? And watching you create these sounds is pure joy because you can feel the love coming out of you, right? Like, it is a really cool experience. Not something I've, you know, I mean, it's just, you know, I listen to Spotify, I listen to, you know, morbid podcast, right? But to see and experience that kind of joy was very unique in this day and age.
I think that goes back to me saying, when you asked me what advice to younger DJs or something, just be authentic. Just play from the soul. You might not take off immediately. It might take 10, 20 years. If you love it, it's going to show. People are going to see it, and they're going to feel it. I always say, go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
Right. And read the room, don't you think? Like, talk to me about, like, reading the room as an artist. How do you respond, you know, to audiences?
Well, you almost have to be psychic, because how do I know what you like? I got to look at you and try to, man, what do you like?
All right, so tell me, what do I like?
I don't know what you like. You seemed to have liked what I was playing.
Very much.
So when I play from the heart and from the soul, I might play something unique and different.
Yeah.
And you might end up liking it.
Yeah.
I feel like audiences love you or hate you.
Yeah.
When you're unique.
Right.
If you just play cookie cutter, all the hits, anybody can do that. Like, but sometimes I'm like, it's not about reading the room. It's about the room reading you.
Right.
You're the DJ. You can play what you want to play.
And like opening up minds to new sounds and experiences. Right. Like, there's this resurgence of Curtis Blow, right? Like that whole Kraftwerk. Right.
I just went to their concert. Amazing.
I didn't even know they were still like doing concerts. Amazing. They were big in the 90s. But like, that's if there weren't people like you out there, you know, bringing these sounds to the forefront of pop culture, these bands wouldn't have resurgences. Right. Like Curtis Blow, like he sort of disappeared into nothing. And then in the last 5 years, I mean, Curtis Blow.
Yeah, he just did a song with Lotto or somebody.
I didn't know that.
Ice Spice, somebody, I don't know, but somebody.
Yeah. Paul Oakenfold, like all the greats, like, you know, what was the other one? Anyway, I could wax poetic on old, you know, sounds, but.
Well, what's funny is sometimes I'm playing a set. For instance, the other night, it was Friday night, and I started at 6, and I'm playing strictly 70s and disco, And this lady came up at, it was like 9:30, and she said, "Are you gonna play any 70s or disco?" She thought it was all new music.
Oh.
And she didn't realize. I said, "I've been playing it since 6 o'clock."
Because
but
that's
she just
what
didn't
she
realize,
knows. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a really interesting conversation, and you know, you've been so generous with your time. Like, if you had, like, in closing, you know, what is the thing you have done with your career that you are the most proud of?
Living my life the way I want it on my terms.
Yeah.
I started DJing for fun in high school, and I never stopped. And people say, "Well, what's the key? How do you know, everybody says I made it." They say, "Hey, you made it."
Right.
And I say,
I have not
I don't know
I've
what,
not heard you say that.
I don't know what, yeah, because I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
And I feel like I could do something huge and feel like I haven't made it, you know? But then I'm like, what? I got movies on TV right now. Like, I can go on in a record store, I have my own sections.
You have a documentary in Canada.
Yeah. Like, so I'm like, I was wondering if anyone ever feels like they've made it. I feel like, does Bill Gates feel like he's made it? Like, he's still inventing and trying to do things. Like, he doesn't have to do that. He can just live his life.
It's a really good point.
But yeah, so what am I most proud of? Like I said, living life on my terms. I felt like almost like I've lived life backwards, because everybody works all their life and then they quit and then they travel and do all this stuff, and I've done all that.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, do I quit and go get a job somewhere now?
Yeah.
Like,
why are you like that? Is that like a curiosity? Like, you're a seeker, right? You're not, you don't label yourself. You're not, it's not like, you have not one time said, you know, I made it as a DJ because. It's like you're not there yet, right?
Right. In my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's some kind of psychology to that, and I think that's a sign of greatness, right? When you stay curious and you challenge yourself, right? And you're like, I don't know, like, have I made it? I don't know.
Right.
You know, who's made it? What does that even mean?
I have a friend, and we joke because he's kind of like we're kind of like twins, like, in our life, right? And they say, you know, how do you do it, or whatever? And he says, I still wake up Saturday morning, I still eat a bowl of cereal, I still want to watch cartoons. Like, he's never changed since he was a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. I think doing what makes you happy. It's hard, man. The world is hard, and life is tough, and we deal with so much. And you know, I find joy in what I do. Right? So I used to, like, deliver pizza, and I would get tips all night, and I'd be done at 10 p.m. and I'd have $300 in my pocket, and I would go straight to Tower Records, because they closed at midnight, and I knew I had 2 hours to look through records. I'd buy records every single night, and that made me happy, and I still am that way.
Yeah.
Even with digital coming in there, I travel the world and look for crazy records. I'm playing crazy African records and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I say there's a whole world of music.
And sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you think all of it's been heard or discovered?
No.
You got to think these bands, they didn't have any money. They could probably barely afford to record some in a studio.
Yeah.
And then maybe they press some up, and they didn't have no distribution or label behind them or marketing. They might have tried to sell them at their shows, and who knows how many. They might have pressed 100 copies.
Yeah.
But it might be great. The music might be great. And if I find something like that, I want you to hear it.
Yeah.
I want you to say, hey.
How do you find that? How do you find those new sounds?
It's funny because, once again, I find like they find me. I really feel this way because I can go in a store with just junk everywhere and pull something and put it on, and almost every time, like, that's the one. And I might spend 5 hours going through stuff in the store and never buy anything else, but maybe buy the first thing I listened to was the one. And that's how I say, it found me somehow.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why it is that way.
Yeah, it's because the energy you put out there, you know, it does find you, I think.
You know, I heard a lot about the universe and this and that, and I really, truly believe it.
Yeah.
I look back at things, I'm like, the universe is it.
Yeah.
Like, it really is.
Yeah, and your place in the universe, right? When you find your magic and you find, what this beautiful thing you have, and you bring it to the world. And I think that is a great gift to the world, but also to you, because it brings you joy. So
yeah, let's hope we can keep doing it.
Yeah, you got to keep doing it. You're not done yet.
No,
I mean, you're
just
dead.
started.
You just got shot in a movie, right? But thank you so much for sharing, your story with us today on the Get
sure.
Busy podcast. I really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.